Hello and welcome into Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And today we are going to be doing the season preview for Barcelona, looking across all the competitions that we are going to be fighting for and hopefully challenging for this season, assessing our rivals, have a look at what they've done in the transfer market and just seeing really where we aim to be throughout the season, what our objectives are, and realistically, what can we expect come the end of the season. Let's do this. So first of all, guys, we are going to start, of course, with La Liga, the league campaign that is going to stretch 38 games. It's going to test you right throughout the season. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows. What matters is being consistent right throughout the season. Usually the most consistent team will come out on top at the end of the season. And the most important question, can we retain our La Liga title? Last season, you look at the league table, you look at the games throughout the league season, we were comfortably the best team in the Spanish top flight. We wrapped up the title incredibly early, a few months to go, and we already knew we were going to be champions. And at the end of the season, our gap at the top was an incredible 14 points. We were one goal away from scoring 100 in the league, the second best defensive record. And as I'm going to come on to in a minute, I really do believe the only thing that can stop us retaining this title, doing all of that again, is a bit of complacency. We know we can do it. We've added to our squad. I think actually we're in an even better situation now, and we're going to come on to our rivals in just a minute. We can do this once again, but we have to stay alert. We have to stay motivated. We've still got to tackle the league in exactly the same way, go about the preparation for every single game in the same way we did last year. And if we do that, we will be very, very confident of securing back-to-back titles. And just to discuss, our rivals, what they've been doing over the summer, who's strengthened, who hasn't. If you look at Atletico Madrid, who many people actually forget, finished second last season ahead of Real Madrid, and they were actually our closest challengers for the entire season. Real Madrid never seemed to get going, and I genuinely do believe once again next season Atletico will be our closest threat in the league, and simply that's because of what they've done in the transfer window. They've made some really, really good additions. They've kept hold of their key players. They brought in the likes of Thomas Lemar. Rodri's a really good signing from Villarreal. You look at Arias at right back, Gelson Martins, a free transfer coming in from Sporting Lisbon. Atletico Madrid have done some really, really astute business. Simeone has got in some players that he really does like, and all in addition to keeping hold of those big names. Antoine Griezmann, it was a massive thing to get him to stay. Jan Oblak is still there, Diego Godin is still there, and of course you've got Simeone at the helm, who will always give you 110%. He'll always get the maximum out of his group of players, and they do have the tools to challenge us next season and once again be in that second place, I think. And then you do come on to Real Madrid, who for me, when you look at their squad, when you look at their summer, what they've been up to, they do look inevitably weaker after losing the man they all believed, of course, was the best in the world. Real Madrid fans knew that Ronaldo gave them an awful lot in their team, and he's gone now, and it is not easy to replace him. And I think it has rocked Real Madrid. It has rocked them right throughout the club in terms of getting a replacement in. They've really struggled with that. They've struggled to attract big names to the Bernabeu this summer, and even now, the likes of Luka Modric, his future at the Bernabeu is uncertain. He could be looking to also go to the Serie A, and things at Real Madrid right now, under their new coach Lopetegui, the way that all happened was certainly not good, and Florentino Perez simply has not had a good summer. He's tried to get his hands on Neymar, he's tried to go for Mbappe, for Hazard. You can argue that Ronaldo hasn't been anything close to being replaced this summer. They've added the likes of Odriozola, Thibaut Courtois has come in, very, very good players, no doubt about that, who will strengthen them, but it doesn't really improve a team that finished third last season in La Liga, way off the pace. It doesn't improve them that drastically. And with all that in mind, with regard to La Liga, with regard to that long season, like I say, where you need to be at your best, where you need to find your level, you need to have that consistency, for me, it's our title to lose. We won the league last season at a canter. Nobody could get near us. A lot of the time, we seem to stroll through games not even playing at our best, but still winning, and we very nearly, of course, went the entire season unbeaten. And looking at our squad, looking at the way the players can react, we're actually stronger this year. And when you have Lionel Messi, it is very, very difficult for any other team to get near us over 38 games. Over those 38 games, you know that Messi will consistently show up. He will consistently produce numbers in terms of goals, in terms of assists. No team will match that. And for that reason, we'll be heading into the season with extreme confidence of getting our hands on the La Liga title. Moving on then now to the Copa del Rey, and I did mention in my Champions League video that we might put a bit of a less emphasis this season on the Copa, simply because it is a very demanding competition and it does fall in the very crucial stages of the season after Christmas in January and February. The games come thick and fast and it is difficult to cope with at times with the squad that we have, but that doesn't mean by any means that we won't want to win this trophy. Every single trophy at the start of the season, the Super Cup included, of course, coming up on Saturday as well. You want to win it. Barcelona, everything they can win, they set out to do so. We won this, of course, 4 years in a row now, the Copa del Rey, with last season's demolition of Sevilla in the final. That was a sensational performance, one of the best displays of the season, and we will believe, of course, that we can still win the Copa del Rey, even if we're going for the league, even if we're putting more emphasis on winning the Champions League. We will still hope to win this trophy, because after all, we are the most successful team in the history of the Copa del Rey of all time. And of course, as we always hear when it comes to Barcelona winning all the trophies in the season, if we do want to wrap up yet another historic treble, it'll be the third time that we'll do it if we manage it this season. The cup does have to be won, and it does have importance. And then we move on to the big one, the Champions League, something that I have discussed very recently in a lot of detail. Can we recover from those 3 successive Champions League quarter-final exits to finally reclaim the trophy that we haven't won since 2015? Last season's shock defeat to Roma, it still hurts, it still burns, it still, you think about it and it doesn't sit well with us. And not only us, the players will feel that as well. And they themselves will be absolutely desperate to make this year our year and get our hands on our 6th Champions League crown. And we've already spoken about Real Madrid, who I think in this kind of competition, they're always confident. They always believe that no matter what, they've got the tools to go and get the Champions League title. But again, you will feel the exit of Cristiano Ronaldo. You will feel that, especially in this tournament, something that always seemed to suit him well. He always seemed motivated in the Champions League. And Real Madrid, they will feel that, no doubt about it. And then in terms of competitors, the club that he's joined, Juventus, never ever won the Champions League in their history, but we'll be keeping an eye on their progress. We've been in their group a few times now over the years. In the final, of course, in 2015, we met Juventus. Now with Ronaldo, they've got a good squad there under Allegri. They'll be challenging this season, but can they get their first title? That'll be the question. And then there's Atletico, of course, who again we've spoken about already. Never ever won the trophy before either, but I do feel like, the reigning Europa League champions, they'll be a lot more competitive in the Champions League this season. They didn't do well last season. They took a bit long to get going under Simeone in the Champions League. This season, though, I think they'll be right back at it. They'll be a difficult team to face over 2 legs. We always struggle against Atletico Madrid, so they're another team that we will be keeping a very close eye on. Then there's Bayern, of course, who always start the season as one of the favourites in the Champions League. They've been relatively quiet this summer, though. They brought in, the likes of Leon Goretzka in their midfield. Lost, of course, Arturo Vidal to ourselves, and they do have a new coach at the helm as well, looking to bring new ideas, Kovac, to the table at Bayern. Then there's Man City, a club that have been transformed in many ways by Pep Guardiola, and even now, after a record-breaking Premier League season, they're still improving. They're still looking to get the utmost out of their squad. They brought in Riyad Mahrez for very big money. Again, a club never to have won this trophy, a bit of a lack of experience in the latter stages in their squad. But the longer these players spend under Pep, the more likely it's looking that they are going to challenge in the latter stages. They are going to really try and win this trophy, and this season they'll challenge again, no doubt about it. Other teams to keep an eye on, you look at last season's finalists, Liverpool. They've had a very, very productive summer. They've recruited Alisson in goal, of course, replacing Loris Karius at a very, very difficult Champions League final. They brought in Fabinho, Naby Keita in their midfield, and their attentions, though, could be this season taken away a little bit as they really got their eye on the Premier League title. They want to challenge Manchester City in the Premier League, but if you come against them in this competition, they are going to be tough. They raised their game in the Champions League, they raised their game at Anfield on European nights, and again, another difficult opposition. And then finally, there's somebody like PSG, the star names that we've come to expect over the years now from PSG, Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, Verratti in midfield, right throughout the team. They've got a lot of quality, now under the stewardship, of course, of Thomas Tuchel, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the table in the Champions League. Can they finally hold their own against the big boys in this competition? We saw them last season come up short when it really mattered against Real Madrid. Or will we see the same failures, really, that we've seen from PSG in the knockout stages for years year upon year upon year now since the money has come in at PSG. But overall, there are a lot of teams this season going into the Champions League, even those that I haven't mentioned, that will be looking to get their hands on this trophy, and that's often why it's so special. Anybody can win it. Going into it, there's a lot of quality, and if we're going to win it, we're going to need to be at our best, we're going to need to have a bit of luck along the way, and we are going to need to step up when it really matters. But my conclusion for the Champions League will be this. Despite our recent failures in the competition, and I may be biased, I might look at this and say that Barcelona are going to win it, but for me, Barcelona, they have to be one of the favourites. When you're looking at the teams, those that I've mentioned just now, you look at that list and you think Barcelona, they should be up there. We've added to what is already a very strong squad. We've got Lionel Messi, of course, and there does seem to be a real feeling this season that this could be the year that we get our hands once again on the Champions League. We got those ingredients there, we're putting them all together under Valverde. We do tend to have successful seasons as well after World Cup campaigns. That's been a feature right throughout our recent history after World Cups. Can we repeat the same feat this season and get our hands on the elusive Champions League? And so in terms of my season preview, guys, my overall conclusion for Barcelona's upcoming campaign will be this. And without getting too ahead of ourselves in all this, the optimism, the positivity, I do genuinely believe that we are setting ourselves up for a very, very strong season. We've had a good pre-season, a bit of a different feel about it, with a lot of players not there with the World Cup. We've seen a lot of encouraging youngsters go out there and perform for Barcelona, and maybe not in terms of results, but the performances that we've seen from Barcelona have been good. They've been dominating ones. We've seen a clear structure, a clear style, and I think we've made some very, very astute signings that were brought in early, and those guys have been given the best possible chance of bedding themselves in to the Barcelona way of playing. And especially coming off the back of last season, of course we won the league, won the Copa del Rey, but there was a bit of disappointment after that game against Roma that still hits everybody, that still hurts everybody, and I genuinely believe that this group of players, in the face of adversity, when things are down, when your chips are down, they will bounce back. They will give everything this season to go forward, have a good season, give us something to remember, and like I say, I've got a good feeling, the foundations are there. Can we kick on now and secure what could be another historic season? I have full confidence in this team to put on a good show once again, and I am sincerely hoping that come May, we could all be celebrating 3 historic trophies in the season of Barcelona. Let's do this! Come on! So leave your thoughts for the upcoming campaign in the comments down below, guys. What are your predictions for La Liga, for the Copa del Rey, for the Champions League? If you don't think Barcelona can win any of those trophies, please do let me know in the comments who you think will win them instead. I'll look forward to reading those and getting involved with you down below. I will see you soon as well with more videos. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça! Barça!